everyone. Welcome back to the Next Big Thing podcast. I'm your host, Diditi, and today I'll be speaking with the amazing Michael Bao. You may have previously seen Michael in world-renowned films like The Maze Runner, How to Get Away with Murder, and Grey's Anatomy. Michael is currently starring on CW's hit series Kung Fu, where he plays a K-pop star and a warrior. The series also makes history as the CW's first all-Asian cast. Michael, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Didi. This is so awesome that I get to zoom in and do these interviews from you're in Toronto. I'm in LA. We're this is the future. This is amazing.
So tell us a little bit about this show and what kind of character you play and how you landed this role.
Yeah, so this show is a reboot of the old show from the 70s, Kung Fu. And back then, the main actor was not Asian. It was a white guy playing an Asian guy. Back in the day, I guess that was acceptable. But even so, it's funny because my dad watched that show and was a fan of it because my dad grew up in America and he, was like, oh, wow, this is like an Asian show. Anyway, fast forward to nowadays, they rebooted it with not only Asian leads, but an Asian female lead. And predominantly Asian cast. So the whole cast is Asian. It's the first Asian network drama. And yeah, I originally tested for one of the series reg roles, one of the brother of the main character, Nicky Shen. I got really close and I didn't get it, but they kept calling me in for more roles. And they called me in for another role after that, didn't get that one. And then they called me in for this K-pop star role and I got that. So I'm living proof that it's never say never, anything is possible, truly.
All right, and K-pop star and warrior, opposite side of the spectrum. How does that work?
K-pop star.
Yeah,
in the show.
In the show, yeah, K-pop star and then a warrior. That's completely different from one another.
Oh, I know. So a little bit of I'm a huge nerd, so I'm going to go into the lore of the show. So basically, the premise of the first season is the main character Nikki finds out she's a descendant of this magical bloodline of warriors and guardians that protected these magic weapons in ancient Chinese history. And then the bad guy is trying to collect all the weapons and the good and Nikki is trying to stop her from killing people and stealing all these weapons because she's going to do something bad with it. And for the longest time, you don't see any other descendants of the warriors and guardians until you see me. They find out that there's this K-pop star who put the lyrics to the ancient texts in his songs, and they're like, "Wait, what is this K-pop star? How does this K-pop star know about the legend?" And then I'm wearing the medallion that is attributed to the bloodline. So they go to Vegas to see one of my tours, and then they go to my show, and then they confront me about it. And I'm pretending I don't know what they're talking about. I'm just this is just a fairy tale that I've heard from back in the day from my grandfather. But secretly, I have been training and am actually a master at the ancient Chinese weapon, the meteor hammer. So that was really cool to play because I'm a huge superhero nerd. So it was dual identity. It was oh no, I'm just your average Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter. No superpowers here. So that was a really fun role to play season 1.
Your character, a little spoiler alert for people who haven't watched the show. First of all, what are you doing? Get on it.
Yeah.
Your character is brought back this season after dying last because the fan loved it so much. What does that mean for you as an actor, and how do you feel when you make your fans become so engrossed in the lives of your characters?
Yeah. So first off, guys, stop the video right now. If you haven't seen it, go to HBO Max, episode 11, season 1, to get the full effect of everything I'm about to tell you. All right, cool. Now we're back. So it was amazing. So this role was written before I was cast as it. So, it was written as just a 1-episode role. Kind of he's going to die. Cool. Knew that it's just going to happen once. So I was okay, I'm going to approach this role and this episode the most high budget audition reel ever, show what I could do, and bring my, acting chops to it. And hopefully it'll give them any excuse to bring me back. And And it wasn't like the role was actually really cool because there was actually a deep mythology with it where I was like, oh, this is an interesting backstory of someone who, kind of like the Asian American experience, was rejecting what his parents wanted, or his family wanted it to do, and was pursuing the arts, right? Becoming a singer. This is a more extreme example, of course, and the parents aren't asking him to be, a pharmacist or a doctor. They're like, oh, stay true to the mystic magical legend. So yeah, I thought it was really intriguing, and then did the episode, and it was amazing to hear all the reactions from the producers behind the scenes to the fans who were DMing me being like, oh my God, your character was so cool. Are you ever going to be brought back? Can you be brought back? And they're voicing so Simon Lau, they're called lovers. All the lovers were voicing their love for the character. And I feel like that was a big reason why I was brought back. So it's so heartwarming.
Do you see any relation between your character in the show and yourself in real life? Like, how are you able to connect the character and yourself in real life? Yeah,
so before the role, thankfully we're living in a great time right now where there's Asian roles that are non-stereotypical, where there can just be normal leading roles and normal people, and not like, the side character or like the nerd that I saw a lot growing up. So when I first started, going into acting, there were a lot of those stereotypical roles. So because of that, I went to YouTube. Like I think a lot of Asian actors did. We did a lot of YouTube, like Wong Fu Productions and, Ryan Higa. And clearly the audience was there. It's just that Hollywood wasn't making those films. So like the audience was there in our videos. So I was garnering a little bit of a fan base before I've been getting all these current roles. And I've done a lot of meet and greets, and it's been so rewarding being able to like say hi to fans and take pictures of the fans, like people, asking you to like autograph things and telling them how much my little videos meant to them. So I had that experience. So my first scene is I'm doing a meet and greet for my K-pop fans. And I have to be like this like larger than life personality who's this like, not letting the main characters, Nikki, like even bring up the legend, because I'm just like, okay, what up? Get over here. Like, we're going to do the meet and greet. Oh, you're awesome. You're awesome. So I was really emulating a heightened version of YouTuber Mike Bow in that. And then, yeah, for the darker like warrior stuff, I'm again a huge nerd. There's videos of me as a baby running around saying I'm Batman. And so I got to like, go into like the dark, like, ooh, I've been training for this, spirit that I've always had. So those are definitely the aspects of my psyche that came through in that episode.
All right, amazing. You've been in the industry for a while now. What influenced you to pursue this career in acting? I mean, you did YouTube and then you went into acting. And again, going back to the thing about like breaking stereotypes, as an Asian American actor, you're not your typical pharmacist. So how did you get into acting? Like, when was your calling?
Yeah. So it was all Harry Potter, actually. Before Harry Potter, I thought all characters were just actually characters. Like, they were just high quality historical documents, all movies were just like home movies. But then when I saw the Harry Potter movies, I was like, oh my God, this is a job. Like, these are kids who auditioned and became these characters and kind of, are able to spread this magic around the world. Cause I was so, like, I love watching movies and watching storytelling and being told stories and watching trailers and being hyped for the next movie. So yeah, when I saw that, I was like, Mom, I'd love to do this. Like, how do I get, like, I hear you have to get an agent. How do you do this? And at the time, we only had one actor friend. And she's like my sister's best friend, who was like this beautiful, blonde, blue-eyed girl. And my mom was like, look, she tries it and it's hard for her. And you see people that look like her on TV all the time. Do you see anyone that looks like you on TV? And that was the first time I really was confronted with my, I guess, Asianness and my otherness, because I'm third generation Asian American. So I grew up watching Disney Channel, watching, English speaking stuff. So that was the first time I was like, oh, the world sees me differently. But I don't know if it was a mixture of stubbornness or determination, but I was like, yeah, Mom, I want to do it anyway. So then she was like, okay, well, fine. You just say you want it, but you haven't proven yourself. So go on, you're not auditioning for anything. So go audition for the school plays and everything. And I know it seemed like it now, but, I'm at my core, I'm this very introverted, shy, like kid. Like I would always like whenever my parents were like, oh, say hi to Aunt whatever, I'd be like burying my head in her lap. Like I'm always like, oh, no, like starstruckness. So that was a difficult thing for me to do, but I don't know. I guess again, this little determination in me was like, no, but do it anyway. It's kind of like, if it's a weakness, fix it, So I started auditioning for the plays. Pretty sure I blacked out during all those auditions. Like I had I remember my like whole body being numb while I was on stage, but I kept trying at it. And then I got the supporting roles, and I started getting the lead roles, and then I got all the roles in high school, and then I went to college, and then went to college in New York. So then I started auditioning, got my agent, manager, and then now we're here. It's been a long journey.
Now we're here.
Yeah.
Has the journey been fairly easy, would you say? Or if not, like what obstacles have you had to overcome? Like how have you established yourself in this film industry as an Asian American actor?
Yeah, it's been, in the beginning, it was tough because that whole, I guess, Asian identity crisis that I was talking about earlier, I recognized that when I was a kid, and I was kind of like, oh, the world sees me as this other. What's this other? And, obviously a lot of Asian stereotypes are like kind of bad, like it's like, the nerdy kid, or like the one who's like not the love interest, or all these things that are like undesirable things. So me personally, I was like, okay, well, I'm not like that. I don't want to be like that. So I'm going to, not, be like that in real life. Then I became an actor, and then all the roles like that, oh, yeah, we got auditions for you. Like this Asian role in this show. Asian stereotype, nerd, skinny, not athletic. And I'm like, wow, like to make it as an Asian actor, I have to be more stereotypical. So that was tough, because I was like, if I was trying to be more, I guess, stereotypical, then I would be a successful Asian actor at that time. So that was tough, because the roles that I wanted to do were like the superhero roles, were not being written. But slowly things started changing. Like in the movie The Maze Runner, like that, that character Minho, he's the leader of the runners, and he's an athletic guy who happens to be Asian. I was like, oh my God, yes. And then again, kind of similar to when I said I auditioned in the school plays, I auditioned for that role, and then didn't get that, but got a supporting role, and I got in that movie. And then I met Ki Hong, who is Minho, and then got to become part of that network. And it's truly, I can say, like, if I was talking to my younger self, it's a marathon, because it was this long journey of keeping at it, keeping that steady pressure. And you might not get the main role that you want now, but you'll get the smaller role that'll lead into the bigger things. So it was a hard journey, but definitely worth it. And still worth it. I'm still on it,
Yeah, we're glad you're here. What do diversity, equity, and inclusion mean to you, and how have they related to the work you have produced and will produce in your upcoming projects?
Diversity and inclusivity means so much to me, because I'm realizing those stereotypes that I was experiencing is because of the lack of diversity. Those stereotypes were because what people who have never seen like an Asian guy before, and not kind of like not their fault. They're like, oh, an Asian guy. In my head, what's an Asian guy like? Oh, cool. Jackie Chan. He knows Kung Fu. Oh, cool. The nerdy IT guy in that show. So he must be good at math. So it's the lack of diversity that just makes them jump to that. Like if there was only one white character in movies who was really good at math, then yes, everyone would meet a white person and be like, oh yeah, white people are good at math, right? So, but because there's just obviously so many different white characters, and so much diversity of characters, you can't kind of stereotype them because there's just clearly it runs the gamut.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think is so important as Asian characters, because we're in this such exciting time right now where we're kind of getting the opportunity to change that and to shift that. And people are kind of realizing, oh yeah, it is kind of damaging to have the same type of stereotypical character on screen. So you can have many different types. I had a really heartwarming moment on an episode of Kung Fu because there were two other Asian actor guys who we were all three of us were always in the same callback room together. We always were going up for the same role, and we're three different Asian guys, like we're totally different. And then we were in the same episode of Kung Fu, and we're looking at each other like, wow, like I'm a K-pop star, you're this half Asian warrior guy, and you're this person on this adventure in international seas. And I'm like, there's room for all of us, we're all getting to help each other rise up as a community. And now people, hopefully young, Asian boys watching that can be like, oh yeah, like I'm not forced to see myself in only one of you. I can see myself in any of you, Yeah.
There's one for each.
One for each. One
for each. I relate to
it's a sale.
You mentioned, you're a big fan of comics and superheroes, and recently in Hollywood with Marvel production, especially, we have seen movies like Shang-Chi and Miss Marvel, and like now Black Panther, which is releasing next week.
Oh, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it in a couple hours. Yeah.
Lucky you to be able to see that. We're seeing a representation of different communities and people of color. What does that mean to you as a fan of these superhero movies and comics?
It means so much to me because, the little kid in me, again, in the diaper, running around with like wearing a Batman costume with diaper. It's like my core being. It's like, oh wow, like, because I guess I didn't see Asian superheroes, so I connected with them anyway. So in a way, I was almost forced to be like, to see myself in them, even though they don't necessarily look like me. Man, so now, like, imagine if I was a kid and I saw a superhero that looked like me. That's so cool. I think the next step is superheroes that, like, their powers have don't necessarily have anything to do with their Asianness, because like as cool as it is to be specific about certain cultures, like, oh, the Korean legend or the Chinese legend or Vietnamese or Indian, it is kind of cool to have a character like Steven Yeun in The Walking Dead, or Minho in Maze Runner. Like, he just happens to be Asian, but he's good at his job, and he's a cool character who we root for. Like, we don't have to always be an other. We're I think that's the next step. I want to be a superhero at some point who wants to, who's like not necessarily Asian, or not necessarily has an Asian power, rather.
Speaking on that topic, whether, I don't know if you're a DC fan or a Marvel fan or both.
Both.
Okay. Glad we said that clear. Which character would you choose to play? Like, which character do you see yourself gravitate towards? Yeah. If you were given the role of like any characters from Marvel or DC.
Yeah. So I don't even have to make this up because it's written in the comics, but there's an Asian Superman named Keenan Kong, and I feel like that would be the dream role. I love Batman and Superman. I grew up with the Batman Michael Keaton movies, and I grew up with Smallville on CW. So that's big. Oh my God, I'm on the same channel of the shows that I grew up with. There's no Asian Batman. If there was an Asian Batman, I would be like that. I think that's the true dream, but like that doesn't exist yet. So you need someone to really take a risk for that. But man, there is an Asian Superman who exists within the universe. Like, it's not like, oh, we're recasting Clark Kent as Asian. It's like, no, Keenan Kong is there and Clark Kent is there too. So they can like mix and mingle. I think that would be just so amazing. Just the and the impact of that, like seeing, because Superman is obviously an iconic superhero, so just seeing an Asian face as Superman, that would mean so much.
Yeah, like even to the Asian community itself, like it would be a big deal. Out of all the roles that you have played so far, what has been your favorite, and what have you learned from these characters that you have played?
My favorite role has been when I was a tree in my freshman year musical. My favorite role, it has to be Simon Lau, because there was such a journey, as I said, of getting that role where most of it was no, until getting that role. So I think it kind of speaks to how I view how I've been clearly, oh my God, it's like therapy, how I've been viewing my life, of like my mom being like, I don't think the odds are not in your favor, Michael Bow. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to keep trying anyway, and there's just something cool and willpowery about that. And then also, besides, that inspiring stuff, on set has been so amazing, because all my everyone on the show are waiting room friends. So I've seen them grow, kind of like a class of Asian actors. We're always, again, auditioning for the same one role, but now the whole cast has a role that each of them can play. So there's a core memory I have, like an Inside Out, like the core memory of we were like rolling, doing the intense scene, and then on cut we looked at each other. I'm just jumping up and down, like oh my God, look at us, we're here, like we've been dreaming about this. And then and action, yeah. So someone's gonna murder you, and someone's coming here. Yeah. Don't worry, I can fight them. Yeah. And cut. Oh my God, look at this, we're doing it. And it's been like that. It's truly, the Kung Fu cast and crew is truly a magical experience. I wish I could like share that memory with every one of you. It's been so amazing.
Yeah. I know you said that you really want to play Asian Superman, but if I gave you a power right now to harness, if you could harness a power right now to play any character from any show or movies or genre or series, which character would you play and why?
Oh,
it could be like any character from any kind of series, like it could be TV series, movie series, any character.
Wow.
It's tough. It's tough to choose.
Does time travel exist in this scenario?
Okay, I'll give you that one. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Why not?
I think it would be very poetic if, like, the thing that originally inspired me and made me realize acting was the thing, Harry Potter. Like, if I can go back in time and be in the Harry Potter movies, and actually, you know what? We don't even need time travel for that, because now the new head of Warner Brothers has just said he wants to make more Harry Potter movies. And that, because there's just a whole world there, and that's originally what inspired me to fall in love with acting. So yeah, someone in the Harry Potter. Hey, in the next series of Harry Potter movies, yeah.
Watch out! we better watch out for you.
meet the newest staff member in Hogwarts.
All right. Lastly, my last question for you: what advice would you give to the younger generation, especially like person of color who want to make their mark in Hollywood?
Yeah. Hopefully, go by my example. If you know what you want, go for it, and work at it. And you might not see the results immediately, but know it's truly a marathon. And also there's a mixture of luck, but I heard this quote on the show: the harder you work, the luckier you get. And I really feel like that is true. In every facet of life. So yeah, that's what I'd say. The harder you work, the luckier you get.
More reasons to watch this show. Like, people, get on it.
Yeah, literally, I died and I'm back. Death cannot stop me.
Yeah, the harder you work, the luckier you get. That's the quote of the day for me as well. With that, we come to very end of our conversation here, Michael. Thank you for joining us today. I hope we see you as an Asian superhero in your upcoming projects. Praying for that, literally manifesting that.
And I'll be back here talking about it.
Yeah, come back anytime, and maybe we'll do this again, talking about how your dreams came true. But yeah, for next big thing, this has been Diditi Karel, and I'm talking to Michael. Thank you for listening to our conversation.
Thank you, guys.